Good morning everyone, how are you doing? I hope you're doing good because it is good to feel good. We are up bright and early this morning because we've got a massive adventure ahead of us today. So today I am spending pretty much the vast majority of my day outside of Albania, and we are going to neighbouring Kosovo and North Macedonia. So we've got a big massive day trip on ahead of us and 2 new countries to tick off as well. What's interesting to think about is, first of all, the last time that I went to another country on my travels that I documented was when I was in Croatia back in 2019 for the first time, and I did that day trip to Mostar in Bosnia and Herzegovina. So this will be the first time that I've done one of these trips since then that I've documented on this channel. And then secondly, this is going to sound crazy, but this is going to be the first time that I've ever travelled to a landlocked country, and both Kosovo and North Macedonia are landlocked. So yeah, cool, the more you know, eh? So yeah, without further ado, gonna wait for the bus, and then we're gonna get going to our first stop of the day, which is to Prizren, which is in Kosovo. So let's have a fun day ahead. Okay, so we've just stopped for a little pit stop. We're actually just waiting to for someone who's joining us from Durrës, and then what we will then do is then head on to Kosovo from there. I tell you what though, traffic coming out of Tirana this morning, it's a bit crazy. It's a bit like London at rush hour. That's the best thing that I can compare it to. Anyway, gonna stop for a little pit stop. I'm bursting for a wee actually, so let's go in and have a good wee. I don't know why I need to tell you guys this. Also, one thing I forgot to do yesterday was put on a bit of sunscreen, and I suffered the consequences with a few burns. So yeah, always just make sure you wear your sunscreen, people, and don't get yourself burned. Okay, so we've just made it to Prizren here in Kosovo. We had a little wait, like crossing the border, but we are here now. And of course, this is country number 26 that I am in here in Kosovo. So, looks very lovely so far. So we're gonna just go about and exploring for a little while. So yeah, let's enjoy Prizren. So you can probably tell so far that a lot of the architecture here in Prizren is from the Ottoman Empire. Okay, so just over here is what's called the American Corner, and of course this little bits up there, 250 years of freedom and all sorts. What's interesting is our guide was just saying how, because of the interventions of like America, UK and all of NATO during the Kosovo War in the late 90s, our guide was basically saying that a lot of, like, you know, descendants of those who fought in the Kosovan War, like, have their kids named after, like, you know, the UK Prime Minister of the time, Tony Blair, or the US President of the time, Bill Clinton. So you got a lot of Bills and Tonys running about in Kosovo and Albania. Oh, people say it's a phase. It's been a phase since 1875. Better than this. It's not every day that you have a strawberry mojito with a nice mountain view. Cheers.
How is it?
It's lovely. Okay, so we're just walking around Prizren at the moment, and I tell you what's interesting to note is the stone bridge that's here. It reminds me very much of the footbridge in Mostar in Bosnia and Herzegovina, which I went to a few years ago, if you recall, and that's got like a rich history to itself. So the bridge in question was built during the Ottoman Empire, and I love how you can easily tell just like some of its architecture, and in fact a lot of like Ottoman architecture is very prominent throughout Prizren. I've just noticed there's a fish restaurant over there, but of course because Kosovo is landlocked, it makes you think, where are they getting their fish from? So I'd imagine, and like our guide was saying yesterday, is that like, you know, there would go, the nearest port city would technically be Durrës in Albania. So having to drive all the way, like, you know, like you're talking nearly 4 hours to Durrës from here, just to get your fish. That's crazy. Okay, so we've just stopped en route at a little petrol station en route to Skopje. One thing I'm a bit gutted about was we were very quick to leave Prizren earlier, but it's a very lovely city, it is. And I tell you what, it reminded me so much of Mostar in Bosnia from a few years ago, and which is obviously quite funny because obviously Kosovo and Bosnia were once part of Yugoslavia, so and quite a lot of countries in this region as well, and also in turn, like, you know, having that Ottoman like influence as well. So like, you know, very stylistic mosques. The stone bridge as well, in particular, did remind me of that little day trip in Mostar. But yeah, we are currently en route to. Where are we going? Anyway, we're about an hour and a half away from Skopje now, so I think the journey continues on that way. Let's go to North Macedonia. Okay, and just like that, we are now not only in a new city, but another new country. So we're now in Skopje, in North Macedonia, and this is country number 27 for me. So the fact that we've done 3 countries in the space of a few days is pretty cool. But anyway, we've got a few hours here in Skopje to check out the city, see what it's about. Also maybe get some food because I'm quite hungry. But yeah, let's see how we get on. So this here is a statue dedicated to Alexander the Great, of course back in like 300 BC or thereabouts, or even during that century in particular. He managed to conquer quite a lot of the known world, so he conquered a lot of like the Balkans, a lot of like what is now the Middle East, Persia, northwestern India. I think the title The Great really does sum up his accomplishments, I guess you could say. So we're walking over yet another stone bridge. It seems to be quite a recurring theme, like bridges built during the Ottoman Empire and for modern day countries that were once part of Yugoslavia. There's a lot of iconic stone bridges to find. But interesting fact about this stone bridge in particular is the fact that whilst it was built during the Ottoman Empire, it stood the test of time in terms of it's not been destroyed by, like, you know, natural disasters or conflict or anything like that. It's still standing to this day. It's like we've been transported from the capital of North Macedonia and we're now in the capital of Cuba. We are clearly in Havana. Hello. Hello. Look at some of these weird flavors of ice cream. You've got Snapchat, you've got Facebook, you've got Red Bull. I think I even saw a TikTok ice cream over there. That's so bizarre. Okay, so we are actually now saying goodbye to Skopje. Goodbye, Alexander the Great, and your big statue, and your lovely lions, and your lovely soldiers in the fountain. We're now going to take the long journey back to Tirana, which is going to take us about 4 hours, so let's get going, let's go home. Okay, so we're just currently at a little gas station. We're about just over an hour away from Tirana. But I tell you one thing I do want to do before I forget is I want to shout out Gerald today, who has been our driver. He has driven us from Tirana, even picked someone up just off the way from Durrës, and we've gone to Prizren, to Skopje, and all the way back to Tirana. We're about an hour away, but you've been an absolute great hand today, you have, man.
Thank you. It was a pleasure having you. And if you ever visit Albania, I recommend
definitely
trying my tour to Skopje. It is a bit tiring, but it's fun.
It's worth it.
It's worth it. I'll make your time worth it. And visit Albania Tour Island. Any tours you want to see?
Anything you want to see in Albania.
And choose me, not anybody else.
Gerald's your guy. Just made it back to the hostel. What an incredible day today has been. It's been a long day, granted, but an exciting and adventurous day nonetheless. You know, it was definitely worth the 6 AM wake up time for what we've gone up to today. And you know, the biggest shout out of today goes to Gerald, who has just been absolute legend. Literally, he's driven us all the way from Tirana here in Albania to Prizren in Kosovo and Skopje in North Macedonia and back. Literally, we did the exact same route coming back. Yes, it was like 4 hours coming back, but yeah, absolute great stuff. And also some people that I've met on the trip today as well have all been absolute legends. So shout out to some of you who I've met today as well. I think what's been really nice is to just get out and explore some more countries, like aside from where I'm mainly being based throughout this trip. So that's been cool. And you know, to say in the space of a few hours today, I have been in 3 different countries, which is really cool. But yeah, that I guess marks my time here, like, well, in the Balkans, but mainly in Albania, coming to an end. So I'm gonna get a good sleep in. Got an early start again tomorrow morning, we check out, and I'm heading back home, which I don't really want to do. But I'll talk a little bit more about my overall experience from this trip when we get home tomorrow. You know how I do a normal wrap up. But it's been an absolutely incredible day. And now let's go get some sleep. So of course, as the usual tradition goes, I will leave you here with some advice, and that is always to enjoy yourself, stay safe, and make the most of every opportunity that comes your way. Thank you for watching, and peace.